Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Arknights reaction. Today we have We. That's a very interesting name, and I assume it just has something to do with the concept of we as a group. I know this is kind of a precursor character song and maybe has something to do with like the Doctor themselves, like the playable character. So that's kind of intriguing, but that's all the context I've gotten from people asking about it in comments and in my Discord. So without further ado, we have to hear what this has in store. Let's go! A somber, mysterious tone right out of the gate. Where are we going? That's a young Amiya. Playing her violin, doing her thing. It's weird how much of this lore I've learned through doing videos on it and not actually playing it. Ooh. 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 So I loved that chord choice in there. That was beautiful. Ooh. Ooh, we went into a minor chord there. Things getting a little weird. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, that's a good beat. Okay, so we is these three. All right. We got the Hag Trio. I really love that, like, I don't know if I'd call that a snare sample, but that's a really cool percussive sound. It's like acting as a snare. Ooh. God, the textured synths on the bottom, just, they're moving like liquid, like a really thick liquid. Always makes me wonder when I see color changes on screen, like what's happening, you know? God, I love that beat. There's some insane syncopation going on with that. Ooh. Ooh, what are we doing? Okay, so I know some lore stuff, but I don't know all that. I think I recognize the crown, maybe. There are gaps in my knowledge. This is so cool. I love this so much. I say that too often, but this like yin-yang situation going on here is gorgeous. God, that's neat. Ooh, okay. super cool things in the production on this one for sure. Okay, so first things first, I did recognize that crown. It was actually in a thumbnail for a different video at the end screen there, and I recognized it immediately. I was like, oh right, that's where I've seen it before. It's something that Amiya wears when she kind of like becomes the main character, I guess, quote unquote. Again, still some gaps in the story of exactly how that relates. I just know that she basically becomes God in some way, shape, or form, even though that's not technically accurate, and I'm sure people will correct me on that. Feel free to, but that's how I connect it in my brain with the minor information I do have. But more on the song here. This was really cool, and I wanted to talk about just that spot at the end that I mentioned, that I love how this song evolved back in to doing that and having the violin in there, and having Amiya play it visually helps out with the whole story of what's happening here. It's kind of giving this peace and wartime juxtaposition. Love that approach, and it's just really neat to see it. The new sunrise at the end showing that there is something, and the doctor being included at the end there as well is really cool. It's like an evolution of like this was we, but now this is the new we. And saying that word in those contexts sounds really weird, but I can't find a better way to really phrase it, but it works really well, and I love that evolution of the story. Just visually alone is really cool. Musically, it's even better because you're able to start from that one spot, evolve into a much more aggressive sound in the middle with a lot more syncopation going on, like I was talking about, all these like aggressive sub-synths and everything. The drums especially being offbeat constantly gives you that idea that there's something wrong in this song, and it might not necessarily be bad or improper, it's just off, and it's that exact feel that we get from a lot of Arknights stuff, where they just want you to feel like you're not in a good place and there are things going wrong here and you can't quite find where you're supposed to be, and that's what all of that syncopation kind of does to the brain. It makes you process everything in the song a little bit off from each other. You cannot find the center, you cannot find your grounding point. It's just moving constantly, and it's kind of stressful. So that sort of reflection in a song like this, especially when it started out so beautiful and flowing, and you're like, oh, what a great, beautiful violin solo happening here, to turn into that is a really cool evolution. And then to go back to it at the end with the dynamic change there, having the doctor on screen with Amiya and her eyes being opened is also a really cool visual pull. There's a lot of cool stuff here. I am also aware of some things about the Babel event though, so for those who don't want a spoiler, if you haven't played it or if you haven't done the replay or anything, feel free to skip ahead a few seconds. I'll put some time on screen so you can see when I'll skip past this information, but I am aware that like Teresa is kind of the main bad character. I'm not sure if that's actually a spoiler for the event, but I wanted to make sure that that was at least prefaced in case it is, you know, like, so I'm aware that that character being in there and being on screen and joining the doctor and Kaltsit, somebody who's been there since probably the beginning, because I know that everybody jokes about how old she is and how much of a yapper she can be. There's just a lot happening on this one. There's a lot of story and there's a lot of change visually that helps support it. Just like every other Arknights song I've ever come across, they handle that beautifully. That song and dance, that balance is insanely consistent through all of Arknights music, and they do a lot of it constantly. They're always trying to push certain boundaries of the narrative and make things as clear as they can while making it just as beautiful as they possibly can too. It is some insane work being done here by the musicians. I don't know who composed this one. I couldn't find any information on it, but they did a phenomenal job as always in these games with those songs. They just nail them for character tracks all the time, and this one especially with all that confusion in the center, and just balancing that is even more difficult. Finding the place for those syncopations to land and still feel good can be quite a challenge on a composition standpoint. So yet again, another banger from Arknights. Who would have guessed? Nobody doubted it, and I can't wait to hear more. I know there are a lot more songs that have come out recently, and I've only had a few people request certain ones so far, so I'm sure I'll see more people requesting things in the comments below this one, and I'll be sure to get to them as I always do. But of course, thank you all so very much for watching, and if you do want to see those videos in the future when I talk about those other songs, you know how to follow me and support me and all that, and I will see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!